Okay, welcome everyone. As we learn, we're broadcasting from El Carib in Brooklyn, and we're at the chasana of my dear Betzalel Klein's daughter's chasana, Zivit Shebiyayla Yofazain, and we are learning the Mishna Yomis in the fourth parak of Gittin, Mishna Dalid and Mishna Hay. Sponsored by the Fisher family, Lila Nishmas Basi Bas Rabbi Shalom ben Avram Alevi, Pel Bas Ruven. We're also sponsored Lila Nishmas Shlomo ben Mordechai for Shalema of El Yomosh ben Chayesar, for the schus of Avram and Yom Benish ben Malki Yehudas, by your Klugman and family of Shalema for Meir ben Chayesar, and for Avigdor Aye ben Rivka. So here it says an interesting thing. Eved Shenishba, a slave was taken into captivity. The owner was Miyayish. And then upida'uhu, the slave was ransomed by Jews. After all, this slave has mitzvahs like a woman, so they ransomed him. Im l'shum eved, if they ransomed him to further enslave him, then yishtabed. Then he continues to be enslaved by the people that ransomed him, not by the original owner, because the original owner already was miyayish. Im l'shum ben chayrin lo yishtabed, but if they ransom him to be a Jew, then he shouldn't be enslaved, but rather, since the original owner was miyayish, he goes free and he becomes a regular ben chayrin. Shimon Gamliel says no. Ben kach or ben kach yishtabed. In either case, he's enslaved by the first Adon. Why? The reason is because we say that we don't want slaves to go and throw themselves on people that come and attack in order for a chance to get their freedom. So either way, even if they were redeemed to be free men, they go back to the first Adon, the first owner. Eved she'aso rabbi apoitiki la'acherim, a slave that the master made him an apoitiki. That means he gave an exclusive loan on this slave to someone who he took a loan from. That means, let's say, I took a loan from Berish, and I said to him that my slave Tony should be an apoitiki for him to collect from. And then I went ahead and double-crossed Berish, v'shichreru, and I emancipated Tony. Now, one of the things that I'm mafkia midei shibud, one of the things that overrides a lien is shichrer. So I emancipated Tony. Now he becomes Mordechai. So Shura Sadin, by the strict letter of the law, Eino Eved Chayiv Klum. The Eved is not Chayiv anything to Berish. Because when I released him, when I freed him, he goes free, he becomes Mordechai, and he doesn't own anything to Berish. However, Ella mipnei tikun ha'olam, but for the betterment of the world, we have Berish write a get shichrer to Tony, and Kaifin es Rabbi v'asa Isai ben Chayrin, the Kaisim Shtar al Damav. And now Tony / Mordechai writes a note that when he gets money, he will give his value in money to Berish. Shimon Gamliel says, what do you, I don't understand, what do you want from Tony? What do you want from Tony / Mordechai? He's not the one that took the loan. He's not the one that owes money. We make Berish, Elam Meshachrer. We remember that I took a loan from Berish, and I promised him Tony as a apoitiki. Then I double-crossed him, and I freed Tony. I have to write to Berish a shtar that I owe him the value of Tony. Now, here's a famous Mishnah which is quoted all over Shas. Here is a situation where Eddie and Dr. Black own a slave. Now, Dr. Black, being a kind-hearted man, frees the slave, Eddie, being Eddie, doesn't free the slave, right? So this is a situation where now the slave is Chetzia Yevid, Chetzia Ben Chayrin. He's a half Evid because Eddie didn't free him, so he's half Tony, but he's Chetzia Ben Chayrin, he's half Mordechai because Dr. Block did free him. So the din is, he works for Eddie on odd days, and he works for himself on even days. He works for Eddie one day, and for himself the next day, because he's half slave and half free man. Divrei Beis Hillel. Amalei Beis Shammai, well, that's nice for Eddie. Tikantem es Rabbi, you make sure that, Eddie gets his 50%. But ves atzmoi loy tikantem, we don't take care now of Tony / Mordechai. What's going to be with him? Lisa Shifcha Yef, she can't marry a Shifcha Kananis, Shekfar Chetzia Ben Chayrin, because he's half Mordechai, he's half a Ben Chayrin. Bas Chayrin Yef, he can't marry a Beis Yaakov girl, Shekfar Chetzia Yevid, because of the Tony half. Yibatel. So he shouldn't get married? Oh, you can't do that either. The world was created for procreation. The world wasn't created to be void. It was created to be populated. For the betterment of the world, we force Eddie, and we make him free the other half of Mordechai. Now he's fully Mordechai, and Mordechai writes half of his value that he's going to owe it to Eddie. The Kaisav Shtar al Chatzi Damav. Now, even though this is Beis Shammai's Shita, but the Chazru Beis Hillel retracted Lahayris Kedivrei Beis Shammai, to paskin like Beis Shammai. We want to again say that on YouTube we have a special share for the Shabbos Baloischa table, which is an unbelievably interesting share about Eldon Umeidad. We're looking for a sponsor for Shlach, 718-916-3100. We already want to say now, stay tuned for June 27th, Thursday, June 27th, when we start Masechtas Bava Basra, the biggest Masechta in Shas, 176 blot. You want to be an ambassador now and get people to learn Bava Basra a week from tonight. Work on it now. It's good to have Philippe so we could wish him a good Shabbos. Thank you for joining us and have a wonderful day.